Hey, what's up? It's Ace again. I'm still waiting on this Chinese food, so I figured I could make more videos as I wait. So still got another 45 minutes. Alright, so in case y'all didn't know this, I am a Christian and I do believe in God. So the story I'm about to tell you comes as no surprise to me that it even happened, but it may come as a surprise to some of you heathens. Nah, I'm just kidding. Some of you guys out there. So as I mentioned in the first video, I'm thinking about making some hypnosis videos because I do know how to hypnotize people and myself. And this story actually comes from back in 12th grade when I first started to dabble with hypnosis. So to set the frame for the story, I had been hypnotizing myself. I just learned how to hypnotize myself. I still didn't know how to hypnotize other people, but I've been hypnotizing myself pretty consistently for a couple weeks prior to the beginning of this story. I would hypnotize myself for a multitude of reasons, whether it be to get better results at the gym or to have perfect memory or to ace all my exams. I was hypnotizing myself and shit. Well, also around this time where I started to hypnotize myself, I was suffering from insomnia, and I would lay in bed for hours and wouldn't be able to go to sleep. So one night, I was laying in bed and staring at the ceiling, and all of a sudden, I could no longer move my body, and a sharp chill went down my spine, and I couldn't move my body. And I don't know if y'all have heard of this, but it's called sleep paralysis, and it's paranormal activity, if you will. So I was sitting there, I couldn't move my body at all, but fortunately, I was looking at the ceiling, and all of a sudden, I see the light through my peripheral vision. I see the light in the hallway come on to the bathroom. Then I see a shadow moving into the bathroom, and I also hear the footsteps of my dog running into my room. Then, after about a minute after this happens, I get control of my body, and I start moving again. And as I look up, the bathroom light wasn't on, nobody was in the bathroom, and my dog wasn't in my room. So that freaked me out a little bit, but after that, I was able to go to sleep. Fast forward about a week, and this is how I explain that. I actually had one of my best buddies was living with me at the time. So when I saw the light come on in the bathroom, I thought it was him using the bathroom. So about a week later, I'm in bed again, can't go to sleep, and I'm staring at the ceiling once again. All of a sudden, a chill goes down my spine, and I'm completely paralyzed. This time, however, I feel my body get dragged from the right side of the bed because I always sleep on the right side of the bed. I had a king size bed, but I slept on the right side every time. I could feel my body get dragged from the right side to the left side, and then back to the right side, and then back to the left side. And it was freaking me out because I'm like, what the fuck is dragging me back and forth? Then all of a sudden I get dragged to the very center of the bed, and from there I begin to completely levitate out of the bed. Like no shit, my body was floating about 3 feet out of the bed with sheets and all. Like all me and my sheets were floating out of this bed. And also as this was happening, I could see like the room and the ceiling distorting around me, changing shapes and shit. I like looked through my peripheral vision. I could see the door changing shapes. And then all of a sudden, I'd been watching videos on how to stop demonic activity and shit. And in the video, they said just call on the name of Jesus and it'll stop. And so I was thinking like maybe I'm getting fucked with by a demon. So I said, Jesus help me. All of a sudden, I felt like I fall back into the bed, like plopped back into the bed, and I could move my body again. And that's how I knew I was awake and that I was actually floating, because I felt myself plop back into the bed, and I didn't wake up like it was a dream. So that really startled me, but I knew I had a tool to use next time it happened. So then, about a week later, I ordered pizza, and that night my roommate had brought his girlfriend over. They went upstairs, they were having sex and all this shit. So I ate my pizza, and I wanted to go to bed because I myself did not have a chick to fuck. And I that was kind of depressing me. So I go in my room, I lay down, start staring at the ceiling so I can go to sleep. Well, all of a sudden, I was fantasizing about women. Then all of a sudden, a vision of like a demon or some shit just flashes into my mind, and I'll never forget what it looked like. It had a completely pale white face, and I'm not talking shit to white folk or nothing like that. I'm talking about like this was like albino white, like no color whatsoever. He had no eyebrows. His eyes were bloodshot red, and he had a grin from cheek to cheek. It was the most sinister looking thing I've seen in my life. And as I saw this, the chill went down my spine, and I couldn't move my body. So I was like completely under its power. And I was really scared at this point. But I remember, just calling the name of Jesus and it'll all be over. So I said, Jesus, 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 and all of a sudden I could move my body again. So at that point I was thinking like maybe I shouldn't be going to sleep right now, but I was like I'm not gonna let no demon punk me out of going to sleep. So I try to go to sleep again, and I was like, let me go to a happy place. Let me start thinking about girls again. So I'm thinking about walking all these girls and approaching them and picking them up. And so I see myself in the mall, and I'm walking down like the center highway, and I see this one girl who's like facing the same direction as me. So I'm coming up from behind her, and I tap on her shoulder, and she turns around, and her face transforms into the face of the demon. And I hear like a screech sound at the same time. So as soon as this happens, the chill runs back down my spine, and I'm paralyzed once again. But this time it was worse. Like I could feel the presence even heavier. Like I felt like I was getting weighed down by like 200 pounds, as well as being paralyzed. So again, I call in the name of Jesus, and all of a sudden I can move my body once again. So this time I was really startled. I was thinking about going to talk to my mom, talking to my roommate, and all this stuff. But again, it can't occur to me. Like I didn't want to let this demon scare me out of my room. Like I was 17 years old at the time. I'm like, I'm not afraid of the dark, and I'm not afraid of this bullshit. Like I'm going to sleep. So again, I lay down in bed. This time, however, after about 5 minutes of staring at the ceiling, I see the same face that I saw the first time, but this time his mouth was wide open, his eyes were even wider, and I heard a cackling sound as I saw his face. It was like, ha ha. Yeah, that's a horrible demonstration, but that just imagine like a wizard or something cackling at you, like an evil laugh as you see this face. And the chill went down my spine again, and I was paralyzed. But this time, I felt like I had a ton of weight weighing me down. Like I was like all the gravity on planet Earth was focused on me at that moment. And not only that, my vision started to get blurry and started to get distorted, and I felt like I was getting ready to throw up. Like it was the worst thing. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. So I call on the name of the Lord, but this time it doesn't work. And that's when I really started to get scared, because no matter how many times I said, Jesus, help me, I was still under this demon's power. But then, I started to go within myself and get really introspective, because I thought I was going to die. And I thought about this one sermon, this one lesson I learned from the Bible, basically saying that Jesus gave his disciples the power to cast out demons. I mean, yes, he could cast them out themselves, but he also gave his disciples the power to cast out demons. And he told them how to do it. So I realized at that moment, yes, Jesus has held my hand the past few times I've had these problems, but now it's time for me to take the responsibility in my own hands and cast the demons out in his name. And this will be a wonderful testimony. So what I did was, as I beheld the demon, I said to it, I command you in the name of Jesus to go to the abyss and to never return. And as soon as I said that, it was over. And I've never had any problems with sleep paralysis or anything of the sort since. It hasn't come back to bother me. It's completely gone. And I just thought that was interesting. But what I did from that point forward, the valuable lesson I took from that was I needed to start. If I was going to continue hypnotizing myself, I needed to sort of. Well, I think that's the Chinese food.
They came to our door?
Yeah, because they asked for the room number.
No, they don't come to our door. They go to the duty.
Nah. I mean, I'm going to do it. It's nothing but a few simple questions. It's got to be a whole page. Who said that? I mean, I'll do it. I'm not going to get you fucked up. Yeah, I'm not going to get you fucked up. I'll do it. Alright, so. Sorry, what I did was, I realized that if I was going to continue to hypnotize myself. Yo, okay, I heard you. Don't be. No, I'm making a video. Don't be coming in and talking shit. Like, I'll do the homework, alright?
You're making a video?
Yes, I'm making a video.
Are you making a video documentary like you did on Mars?
Close the door, Moyer. Alright, so I realized at that moment that I need to start going into hypnosis with a little bit of protection. I shouldn't be doing it without first praying about it and making sure that I was protected from any demonic activity. So what I started to do was I started to I prayed that the Lord would give me sorry, that kind of pissed me off, but I prayed that God would put a roadblock in my mind, body, and spirit so that no evil spirits would be able to creep into me from that point forward. Because while hypnosis in itself isn't really like necessarily like there's nothing bad about it, the fact is you're opening up the door for spirits to influence you, not because you're trying to, but just because you're clearing your mind in such a way that it becomes possible. Sort of like when you get drunk or get high. So I started praying that prayer before I hypnotized myself, and from that point forward, I've never had any issues, and everything's been good. So that's it for that video. For this video. And if and when I do make hypnosis videos, I'll be saying the same prayer for the viewers, whether you want me to or not, just for your safety. And that's just me thinking about you. But anyway, that's it. Take care and like, comment, share, and subscribe.